Professor Gachi and Co. and some other economists and the trading community themselves have been talking about why they cannot reduce their prices now. Do I have to read the story again? Because we're not here.
No, that's fine. I'm okay.
Okay,
I mean, that's following
yes.
it. I mean.
And so I would start as usual. Wonder, what do you think is the way out?
Well, you know, I play in that environment when it comes to business, and so let's be fair. In the interim, what we can do as a country, as a people, as leaders, and all that is to advocate. Indeed, you will observe that some prices have already, you know, been affected.
Coming down,
For instance, I have a couple of colleagues that do business from Nigeria to Ghana, Togo to Ghana. Yesterday, the exchange rate at the border was about 24 Ghana cedis. It used to be as high as 29, and it's 24 yesterday. So most of their prices have been shaped a little. Even the Naira is also not doing so well. So a lot of prices are beginning to change. But these are only on what we call the perishable consumables and all that. But when you talk about inputs like you know, hardcore investments, you know, what I would call equipment and all that, because they already have old stock. For instance, if I'm selling generators, diesel generators, I may have imported it under President Akufo-Addo when it was 18 Ghana cedis to $1, right?
Or did we ever get to 18?
18 Ghana cedis to $1.
Let's be factual on some of these things.
Charges.
I don't know you to bring propaganda. We've never got to 18.
No, the highest was 17.
Absolutely.
No, I said they paid charges. What's they paid charges? So on average, about 18 Ghana cedis, 17 Ghana cedis to $1.
17.
Okay, 17. Let's
yeah,
use 17
let's use
to
17
$1.
for the purpose
and
of
then high import charges at the time, you know, high taxes they paid at the time. So these are in their warehouses and in stock.
Okay.
And let's be fair, because they bought it at that price, a lot of money from their, you know, investments have gone into that. It would take a new stock of, you know, piles of stock to have the prices properly so-called adjusted.
Okay.
And so you don't see immediately a reflection over 2 months, 1 month, and all that. There's a circle. They import, some import every quarter, some import once or twice a year and all that. So you will see those changes coming in pretty much soon. Also because we have a free market economy where government doesn't play any role within the private space of business. You cannot manipulate, quote unquote, the prices. If government was playing within the sector, then you can decide and say, well, for spare part dealers, I'm going to reduce by this margin, and so I expect all of you to do that, or you do it by yourself. Then when customers rush to your place, all the others are beginning to shape theirs along that. That would be a more crude way of reducing prices, and it's not lasting enough. It doesn't tell the real environment of business, and you may be manipulating figures to get that outcome. So indeed, we agree that prices are going down. The dollar is getting weaker and weaker. The cedi is gaining some strength over some time. Fuel prices have also been, you know, reduced over the period. We will see more and further reductions. A lot of this should also go into production, enhancing our production capacity. I have seen people who want to import equipment. Like, for instance, myself, we're in the process of importing something. I said, hold on, because at the time they gave us the figures, when we did our competitions, it was high. Now that I see that the cedi is behaving better and good and kind towards us, I said, hold on, because by the time we are ready to do it, we may be paying less in terms of how much cedis we're taking out. So indeed, we have to be fair to the people within the Guta space. We also have to be fair to the economy itself, because some of these things would need some time to reflect. We are not only talking about even prices, even exchange rates. What's the name? Prime rates at the banks, the lending rates and all that. All those things will need some reshaping as we progress, because we are seeing some good signs of the economy recovering and all that. What I don't want is to force this, because if you force it, the repercussions are that it will last. It will not even reflect the exact differences that you need in terms of reduction when it comes to prices. And so it will be organic. It would be a more realistic way of doing it than just the push in that regard. Our economy is also very dependent on what I would say buying and selling. And that's why anytime the CD weakens a little, they quickly go to increase prices. We do not have a system where people who are importing from outside the country will have to rely maybe on the central government to do that for them in terms of the transfers of money abroad and all that. People take their own hard currency, some put in their accounts, go abroad and cash it. Some also have to do fiscal transfers and all that. And that puts a lot of pressure on the cedi. I'm happy that at a time like this, people can now, if the Bank of Ghana will do something about this, people can walk to the Bank of Ghana and allow payments to be made on their accounts and all that. Except that we're not very, not truthful. Most businessmen are not very truthful when it comes to transfers abroad. Some of the transfers abroad, because they are multilateral companies in Ghana, multinational companies in Ghana, some of them are actually profits they are repatriating abroad. So you cannot go to Bank of Ghana and say, I'm taking 2 million out of the country because it's my profit, and that will go through easily. They will hide it behind in the name of importing some products and all that. Then they get the money, and it goes out as profit being repatriated, which never comes back to the economy. And you find that happening a lot in the free zone space and those with tax waivers and all that. And I think that those are the real leakages that put so much pressure on the dollar, and by so doing, it's scarce in the system, and we have to buy at higher rates. I believe sincerely that the Atuforsen-led finance, ministry and the Bank of Ghana are doing a lot more of collaboration in that regard. I believe that the sustenance of the cedi from now on to many more months, many more years to come can be sustained. If we can put this in perspective and allow the cedi to gain some level of stability. I'm not even looking at downward trends, because the downward trends in business really also doesn't allow you to plan. Because if today I change dollar to cedi at 13, tomorrow I'm changing at 11, another day I'm changing at 9, then it comes back to 14 again. I can't plan. It's difficult to plan. So what traders are looking for is the stability. If it was,
so there must be certainty, there must be predictability.
Yes, certainty, predictability, and once you have that, say the dollar to cedi was locked at 13 for the whole year, we can plan with that, even as a government, in repaying our debt and all that. But where it is fluctuating, you are computing figures in dollars, and the exchange rate is always changing, even on your bank statement, on your statement of account, on your projections and all that. You're always having to juggle between figures. It doesn't really help for good planning and all that. So the stability, which you said, the predictability, the certainty and all that, is one of the cardinal things that the Finance Ministry and the Bank of Ghana would be looking at, and I presume that they are doing that pretty much well. We can sustain this. Once we can sustain this, prices will go down naturally.
Do you agree with your other colleagues, because you're also into the trading, the trading business. Now, do you agree with your colleagues who say that they may need about 6 months period of stability of the currency to be able to confidently say that they are reducing their prices? Do you agree with those who are saying that?
I don't entirely agree, because it depends on what industry you're in. Like I'm saying, if I'm importing transformers, generators, and all that, you're coming. They bring them in good loads.
Okay.
And you won't be importing every month. So I'm bringing in maybe 50 kVA generators. I'm bringing in maybe about 100 or 200 pieces of them. It will take me some time to sell them. That stock was bought at maybe 17 Ghana cedis to $1. By the time by my next one, maybe the dollar has come to 13 Ghana cedis to $1.
Okay.
I can plan with a new one by my new import.
Right.
But for the period where I imported the other one until when I finish selling it, it's a bit difficult to halt prices.
But here's the thing. You bought your KVI, your KV, whatever, you get KV something.
Yes, generator.
Power. At say $17 to the cedi.
Yes.
Okay. Someone actually is buying the same product today at say 13 to 13.4, 13.04 per the interbank rates.
Good.
Now, if you have a market like Ghana, which is more like a buyer's market, I don't think our market is a seller's market, because the buyers, to a very large extent, determine the movement of price and the movement of prices within the market.
Good.
So let's say you and Kamaluddin, you deal in the same product. You bought yours, as you said, sometime last year or 2 years ago at 17, and these are products that take time to move or to sell. Okay, so you have a stock of generators bought at $17 per Cedi.
Exactly.
Kamal Dean is just starting the same business today. Yeah. He's buying the same product at $13.04. Yeah. Now, all other factors held constant.
Good.
What it means is that Kamal Dean's product will be far cheaper than yours.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that.
So why does that leave you?
Yeah.
Me, I'm a buyer. And I'm a rational buyer. I'm looking for same product, same quality, but at a lower price.
At a lower price.
Good. But that's why I told you that it's not a blanket thing.
Yes.
That once, oh, I saw this, you saw that, so this is when we will reduce or we will not reduce. Yes. I said that there will be a seamless transition at that point. Okay. He may sell his own at 13. Okay. I'm still selling my own at 17. I may not get buyers to buy.
Yes.
He has also discovered, and all businessmen are crude. Yeah. He has discovered that even at my 17, I'm still selling.
Yes.
He may even want to come and join me at my 17. Because the motive for him doing business is profit. Do you understand?
Yes.
No, otherwise,
but at that same 13.04, Kamal is still making.
But a good turnover gives you
he's talking about. You're talking about good margins.
Yes.
Yeah, he knows that he's what he's.
Okay. So your argument is that. Your argument is that.
Yeah.
Even though Kamal Dean can.
Yes.
Can in fact should.
Yes.
Sell it at the 13.04.
Exactly.
The fact that he needs more profit.
Yes.
But then Kamal is also very much aware that there are other players on the market.
Exactly.
Who are selling the same product.
Yes.
Who
at
are
my
pegging
price.
it to the $17.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if Kamal wants people to rush to him and buy his product, why would he sell it at your price?
Businessmen think differently.
Really?
That's why I told you that the motive is money. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you bought something at 20 Ghana cedis.
In fact, he can even do at 15 and still make a lot of money.
So you bought something at 15 Ghana cedis and you're selling at 25.
Yes.
I went somewhere and I bought it for 18.
Yes.
I've made some 2 Ghana cedis.
Yes, probably.
And I'll come back to sell it at a 25 with you. And I'll be making more profit. That's the motive.
Oh, you mean there will be a middleman who will buy the same product from Kamal?
Exactly.
And go and sell it at... But they will still sell it at your price.
I'm saying that, you see, I don't want to use the word cabal.
Okay.
But in every industry, for instance, if you talk about electrical industry, go to Opera Square where we do business there.
Yes.
When you enter one shop, and you ask for the price of maybe this cable, maybe this 2.5 cable, and they tell you, oh, it's 200 Ghana cedis. And you say, oh, it's too much, I don't want to buy it. They have their own platforms. Quickly, though, oh, what quantity do you need? I need about 100 of them. You say, oh, okay, I say, I can't sell it anything less. But quickly, they have informed their platform that, oh, somebody's in the market who wants 100 of this. I gave him this price, and everybody's going to sell it to you at that price.
Really?
So there are other dynamics in the market that don't easily allow you to have these reflections. This is the truth, and businessmen think along this way. However, if it's a perishable good, exactly. That's what I mentioned to you earlier. That's what I mentioned to you earlier, that for the perishables, you will see quick, price, to reflect, because they want the product to move. If you are selling drinks and all that, there are expiry dates. What's the expiry date for a generator?
That's true.
For a cable.
That's true. So, or even cars.
So this is where they try to make windfalls. At this point, somebody will even go and buy new ones, new price, at new prices.
Today's rate.
Yes, and come and quickly sell to make quick margins before talking about the old ones in the stock, because he's not also sure that this will be sustained for a long time. He's also skeptical. Maybe in 6 months he may come back to, so let me just hold. Sometimes they even decide not to sell at all, and then you have shortage on the market. Then the price goes up again because there's shortage of the product on the market. So the highest bidder is likely to have it. So there's a bit of darkroom economics in this whole transaction when it comes to price.
So that's why, for instance, there was a woman I must have been on TikTok, who was happy that a gallon of oil, I don't want to mention the name of the brand, obviously, for obvious reasons, a gallon of oil had reduced from 100 and something cedis to about 70 or 80 cedis. And she was very happy.
And to be honest with you, those who can speculate smart, and if they know the expiry date of the market, they will buy now and hoard. Praying again that the reverse of the Cedi happens, and then they sell again.
But what if it drops?
Yeah, that's what, it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
Okay, it's like hedging.
Yes,
it's like hedging.
So,
all right.